Okay. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic at hand, which is are promiscuous men and women. So it's both. We're talking about both. You can separate them. You can say one or the other or both. Less valuable to society. So once again, are promiscuous men and women less valuable to society? Let's reverse the order since we started with Tom. So let's just flip it on its head and go with Torsia first.
Okay, so are women, can you hear me? I just messed with this.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sure. You're good. You're 100% good.
Yeah, I think that promiscuous men and women are useless. So they're just not going to procreate anyway. So what are they doing? They're really useless. I don't know.
Okay,
if they're promiscuous and they procreate.
So,
Hell
Torsia,
yeah, keep them then.
I want to clarify. You would argue they are indeed less valuable to society, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's go next to Laugh.
Yes, I think that they are less valuable. In the sense that, yeah, like they're going to procreate less, and they're probably going to have a lower quality of children.
Okay, interesting. I actually did not expect you to take that position at all.
What do you mean?
I literally thought your position would be the exact opposite. But
I literally just advocated for abstinence until engagement. What are you talking about?
Okay, anyway, I don't know. I don't really know that well, I guess. But anyway, let's go next to Michael.
I am going to say that it certainly doesn't make you more valuable, but I do think it is, and this is going to offend some people, but I think it has much more of an effect for women than it does for men. I think when women have more sex, then it is more likely that they're going to cheat in a relationship. The GSS has done surveys. Women who cheat in a relationship have on average about 8.3 sexual partners before they get married, and women who don't is about 3. For men, we don't see the same correlation. We see some correlation, but not quite the same correlation. So So in that situation, when you look at does men having more sexual partners affect them as far as being worse people or worse people in a relationship? The answer is some, but not nearly to the effect that it affects women. With women, it seems to be an extreme deleterious effect. In fact, once you get to 20 sexual partners, the likelihood of you staying in a marriage is about 17%. So I'm going to have the red pill misogynist answer, which is it's actually it's not good for either, but it's way worse for women.
Michael, I want to really quickly clarify your position. So, for example, like I know Myron says that, like, hey, you shouldn't even bother getting into a relationship until you sleep with at least 50 girls, so you have the experience. Would you agree or disagree with that statement?
You need to have some experience. 50, like I think one of the reasons why Myron said 50 is because in Miami, 50 is like normal for a dude who goes out a lot. A guy in Wichita, Kansas, 50 is asking a lot. A guy who lives in Waco, Texas, 50 is actually asking a lot. So I don't know if that number is necessary. I do think men need experience. I do think men need to be able to just determine whether or not a woman is a red flag or not. Does he need to have sex with all of them? No, I don't think he does. I think you can get a lot of experience understanding how women are from dating and not necessarily having sex with all of them. But at the same time, do I think a man who's been with 50 women is less likely to be in a marriage? I don't think that's the case. I don't think it's less likely for him to be faithful. And I don't think it ruins him as a man, but I don't necessarily recommend you all go sleep with 50 women.
Okay, just one more clarification question. So obviously 50 is like an arbitrary number, but you were saying that you do think a man should have some experience with women before settling down, which, by the way, is my position as well. So then for men, you would say it's like a slight positive as long as they don't take it too far?
Yeah, so that's the other thing. They show happiness in a relationship, again, same GSS survey. And actually, once men get above 10 sexual partners, they're actually happier in a relationship. When women get above 11 or 10 or 11, their happiness in a relationship starts to plummet. So my point is that there seems to be, for some reason, a very deleterious effect on women when they have multiple sexual partners that doesn't seem to happen for men. The example that I like to give sometimes is the concept of if a man literally had to have sex with 17 women in order to save his life, he'd do it and probably wouldn't think about it a week later. If a woman had to have sex with 17 men in order to save her life, that would be a very traumatic experience that she probably hold with her for the rest of her life. That's the difference. Our psychology is different. And I think because of that, when men have multiple sexual partners, from every survey that I've seen, and not one of them has gone in the opposite direction, shown a neutral correlation or a negative correlation. Every single one that I've seen shows that as men have more sexual partners, it does not seem to affect them nearly to the extent that it affects women in a relationship.
Okay,
Well,
I understand. Let's go
that
next.
study
Wait,
that-
wait,
that-
laugh. We're doing opening statements.
It's
Just
Tori. It's not Lev.
Oh
Sorry.
shit! Sorry, my bad. I'm like so out of it. Tori, yeah, opening statements. I promise there'll be full open panel after that. Andrew, you're up next.
Yeah, I think it not only devalues the person because it devalues your virtue, but it devalues society because it teaches how to be virtueless. And inside of a society with no virtues, you have a society like we have now, which is just full of degeneracy everywhere that you look. And the sexual dynamics that Lav hates so much wouldn't really exist inside of a standardized virtuous society. So yeah, it's terrible for both sexes.
But yet you think that a man.
It's
should
my
just
opening
finally-
statement, Lav. My opening statement, Lav.
Laugh, yeah. Come on.
No, it's
Lav and
cool.
torture, ladies.
I'll tell you what,
Sorry.
Lav, as the strong woman, you're the strong feminine. Why don't you just take my opening statement, Lav?
No,
Go
I'll
ahead-
allow
go
you
ahead,
to have
Lav.
it.
Are you
I'll allow
sure, Lav? Is that okay with you? Is that
It
okay,
is.
Lav?
Well, I will
Let's
permit it.
Andrew,
Can I
let's
have
get
the
back- let's-
opening or the closing
Guys,
statement?
Jesus Christ. Let's
Anyway.
get back to Andrew's opening statement, and
He's
I
so
promise
touchy,
you
so
guys can go
sassy.
at it. You guys literally can fucking fight each other verbally or physically. I don't care, but let's get through the opening statements. Go ahead, Andrew.
Anyway, so yeah, it creates a virtueless society. Okay. Now, if you're talking about the effects on society in general, Sartain probably has a point that the expectation for women to be more virtuous than men seems to be held by both sexes, even in highly virtuous societies. Do I think that it affects women more and that the outcomes are worse for them ultimately in a society with no virtue? I do. Then do I think that that should be good incentive for women to show better virtue? I also think that too. So when you're looking at society in general and the effect, I would say both need to not be degenerate scumbags. But I do think it negatively affects women more.
Okay, understand. Tom?
Yeah, there's obviously like pluses and minuses. I do agree that there is virtue in waiting till marriage. I think that that's probably something that most of us agree on. But and then there's also a bunch of downsides to being promiscuous. There's like higher chances of STDs, unwanted pregnancies. Promiscuity seems to align with like alcohol abuse, drug abuse, less want or need to be a parent. But there's also some pluses, like women do seem to find men more attractive who have more experience, and they do generally and men find women with more experience less attractive. So there are ups and downs in different areas, so I'm happy to get more into that as we go.
All right, cool. Now let's get into the open panel portion. We'll probably go for somewhere between 45 minutes to 50 minutes, something like that. So let's kick it off.
Yeah. So Lav, you had a criticism, I thought.
Yeah, if we're supposed to be teaching virtue, I don't think that men, reacting on their most primal state of trying to fuck young women is full of virtue.
If they're getting married to him, why is it not virtuous?
Well, that's what I said. Remember, I said that earlier. I said if they're getting married, then it honestly it's less of a red flag.
Yeah, but still a red flag in your mind. You still think that it's a power dynamic that shouldn't be done. Yeah, but you still think it's a power dynamic that's bad. That's the problem, right? So from my perspective, I don't think
Not
so.
if there's
I don't care.
alimony involved.
I literally don't care about it. I don't even think it's a big deal at all. I don't care that older men want to marry and have sex with young, hot women who reproduce beautiful offspring for them. I don't give a shit. I literally don't care. I don't see how that's in any way not virtuous.
Vanity is a virtue.
How's that vanity? How's that vanity to want to have strong,
Why would you not want to? Why would you not want to have
then,
sex and procreate with women who you think would be good mothers?
What would that have to do with virtue? Why would it be more virtuous to do that than the opposite?
Because if you're having sex and marrying a woman just based off of the way that she looks and how much you want to have sex with her, that is virtueless.
No, it's not. It actually has additional virtue because you're getting the strongest offspring from that, who then can have
just someone who's attractive,
the strongest offspring, the most beautiful. Yes, it's going to give
them
them
IQ
better.
Matters less than how pretty
if you have, well, no, you can have both. It's not an either or. It's not a bifurcated
these
position.
Days it is either or.
No, it's not. It's not a bifurcated position. There's no less virtue in marrying a young, beautiful woman to have your offspring than it is marrying an older woman to have your offspring. There's no virtue difference. What is the distinction here?
Well, the only positive you brought up in an old man marrying a young woman is that he gets to have sex with like a hot young woman.
No, that's not the only virtue I brought up. She's going to be able to produce many times more offspring, which is why when you said women have to wait when they're in their 30s, how many years? You said 5. At 18, it's many times more than that. The highest value that he has is reproduction.
So your values are just reproduction.
No,
just as
that's
many kids as
not
possible.
only, but yes, reproduction is a big one, and it's more virtuous to have more children, more offspring. Yes, there's more virtue in that. Why wouldn't there be? That's you taking more of your resources to take care of more human beings, perpetuating the human race, allowing for those human beings to then go on and have even more offspring, perpetuate the human race. There can't even be virtue absent humans. Yes, it's a very virtuous act to have many children with women who are capable of doing it. Strong, healthy, very virtuous action. What is the alternative?
A 25-year-old can pump out a ton of kids and also also be way better equipped for parenthood.
Well, no, maybe not. The thing is that
generally,
show me how there would be a virtuous delineation there. I'm not saying that he can't marry a 25-year-old. I'm just also saying he can't marry an 18-year-old.
They're just slightly less young and hot at 25.
Okay, but at 25,
then you're doing away with vanity.
So if all we're doing here is just going off of like kind of the quibbling theories of, well, she might be able to have X amount of children, fine, then let's quibble about it. The 18-year-old still probably is going to be able to have more, right?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, so probably. So again, if you're going to nitpick on the virtues, we can always send it the other
But I think
direction.
generally she's also going to be a worse mother.
Based on
the like modern day society, like what women are doing at 18, and also just your brain's not fully formed. You're more likely to get overwhelmed. You haven't learned all the lessons that you probably should.
You're also probably far more likely to have a lot more money with an older man who has all kinds of in-house care for you to help you take care of the children, and the children probably going to have a much better future. And it's not in every case. It's really hard to delineate virtue this way.
But then you're like a cow. Like as soon as you hit your maturity, you're just rolling them out.
Well, unlike you, Lav, I think that a virtuous society, you might think of
women
are cattle, but women have to reproduce the next generation of human beings, don't they?
Okay,
so
I think they can do that at 25.
Yeah, they can also do it at 18.
I think that they shouldn't.
Yeah, you think they shouldn't now?
Yeah, I think that you. Yeah, I don't think that you should
No. I'm going to hold you to this. You say your exact words now, so you're not going to quibble about this later. At 18 years old, women should not have children.
I think that you should wait generally, yeah.
Okay, that's not what I asked.
Well, I'm clarifying my position.
Okay, so then it's not they shouldn't.
Sure.
Okay,
I think they ought to not.
Okay, so then they shouldn't. They should not at 18 have children.
Sure.
Okay, why?
Because I think that you're I think that that's too quick. You didn't get to experience any of your life.
What about 19?
I don't think that probably I think with every passing year you probably are. I would
but should 19-year-olds have children?
Probably not. They're teenagers.
Just no or yes?
Probably not. They're teenagers.
I don't know what probably not means.
Then you have a problem. You should go back to school.
The problem is I probably don't, right? I probably don't have a problem. Whatever that means. Yes or no, should they or shouldn't they laugh?
I'm in the middle. I'm in a gray area, but I'm leaning towards no.
You're leaning towards no. So that just means that whatever I come up with as an example, you'll use a qualifier and say that's fine.
Some people don't have extreme ideas.
That's not an extreme idea. It's a law of excluded middle.
No,
See,
you want me to pick a black or a white, and I'm not.
Lav, would you say most of the time they shouldn't?
Yeah, most of the time they shouldn't.
Okay.
Most of the time, 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds should not. And are you basing this on their body's physiology?
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, what does that mean? In the most case, are you basing that on the physiology as your primary case? Okay, good. I didn't think you did. So we can rule that out. So the only thing you're actually basing it on.
Thank you for taking this really slow.
Still, the only thing that you're actually basing this on is power dynamics, ultimately, right?
Power dynamics, but also just quality of life.
Quality of life for whom?
For women.
And what about the quality of life for the man who marries her?
Well, I guess I still thought that we were talking about age gaps a little bit.
Yeah,
we are. I also let me talk.
We are talking about it. I asked you a question. What about the quality of the life of the man who marries her?
Guys,
well, he got to live his whole life without having a child.
This is an important distinction.
So he gets to be a person for 50 years, and a woman gets to be a person for like 1 year.
Because she's putting more weight on the woman than she is the man.
Okay,
that's why I want to know the distinction.
Well, no, at 50, you've already experienced
adulthood.
So what?
Okay. Yeah, so what?
I have to mute both of you for a second. Okay, guys, we are getting off track. I will let this go for another 2 minutes because it seems like this is an important topic, as Andrew says, but we are literally debating the previous topic right now. So I do want to bring it back and also want to give all the other people a chance to talk, Tom, Portia, and Michael. But like I said, I'll let this run for another minute or two. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I want to know why we are giving more moral weight.
We also all agree with that. We all agree. So
we don't agree. No, we don't. We don't agree.
No, we all agree that people who are promiscuous are less valuable. We all agreed.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. But anyway, back to this. I'm just asking.
Makes sense for us to move.
Yeah. Okay. Got you. So I'm asking this question: why do you put more weight on the woman and the value of the woman?
I don't. The man in this case, with the age gap, got to live a full adult life.
Why should we take that into consideration as being some standard that we should adhere to for virtue? That he got to live more than she did.
Because I think that women and men should equally love their lives and get to experience the same things.
They get to experience the same things?
Yeah, like freedom. So like a life without children depending on you. So we especially know this with women, is that women take the brunt of like parenthood. Like women usually are they devote their entire lives to their children. So before they do that, I think it would be advantageous to them to experience life and freedom.
Then you don't believe in virtue, because your highest value is not actually virtue. Your highest value is not actually virtue. Your highest value then is some sort of egalitarian nonsense. So you're saying it would actually be more virtuous for her to stall, or in some way.
I don't have the same virtue. I don't think I agree with your virtues.
Let me finish.
Your Christian Orthodox virtues.
Let me finish. What virtues could you combat them with? They're the same virtues everybody has. Their virtues are virtues.
Everyone is a Christian Orthodox.
No, virtue ethics are virtue ethics, regardless of your denomination. So back to where we were at. Wouldn't it be more virtuous for her to stave off whatever those egalitarian, self-centered choices were?
It would have been better for him to do that also. So she should probably marry someone
already did. He already did for 50 years.
An 18-year-old having a child with another 18-year-old, way less weird and bad.
Why is that way less weird or bad or more virtuous?
Because you're now experiencing life on an equal playing field with your
Why
partner.
is that more virtuous? That sounds less virtuous.
Well, that's not more virtuous.
It's not more virtuous.
No, so my life isn't entirely built on virtue, right? I still have I guess I'm in the middle of virtue and hedonism. I guess I have my hands
those
in
are
both
polar
pots.
opposites of each other.
Yeah, no kidding.
Utility.
The duality of man, Andrew.
Utility and virtues don't even mix. They don't even mix unless you see virtue as just utility. I guess you could do that.
I like to live in a gray area. And I think that most people do live in a gray area. You have a very extreme life to most people, to most Americans.
You said you started this argument by saying, how is this more virtuous? Or this is less virtuous, in fact. You said less virtuous because of some freedom doctrine. And then we ended up with you admitting, no, actually, the freedom doctrine would be less virtuous. And so the question becomes, should we go with egalitarianism, Lav, or should we go with virtue?
I think egalitarianism is a virtue. I think equality is a virtue.
Equality. What virtue do you think?
I have to meet both of you again. Okay. After Lav answers this question, I do want to let the other panelists a chance to talk. Tom literally looks like he's about to commit suicide. Torsham looks like she's falling asleep.
I'm having fun.
Let's. Well, I know you are, because you're doing like 50% of talking with Andrew. Yeah, let's just let the other people get.
So people are equally evil. That's a virtue.
Okay, now let's let Lav answer, and then we will.
Yes, Andrew, that's exactly what I mean. Thank you.
I would say a weird thing is that even if we think waiting till marriage or waiting at all is virtuous. Society overall is going to like promote sexuality one way or the other. And this is how we kind of end up with a lot of incels, is that if they did wait until marriage or even wanted to wait, they would end up getting kind of persecuted for it over time. And then most of the time they're going to change their mind. Even like religious people most of the time end up changing their minds and don't end up waiting till marriage and end up having sex well before marriage. There has to be like a total societal overhaul, and that's not going to happen when people go through puberty and their hormones are raging and they're in high school, which is the most like social time of their entire life, and there's babes all around them. That's it's never going to happen. But I was going to ask Andrew, I guess your answer would be like put God back into schools, or what? Like, how would we actually go towards those virtues?
By recapturing institutions at the political level and moving towards a virtue-driven society like we used to.
Re-education camps. Re-education camps.
You're talking about the church recapturing.
Yeah,
Leah, you did want to snitch on your friends whenever they were having a relationship that was out of balance.
That was a red flag.
You're talking about like re-education camps.
I'm pro re-education.
When you're talking about,
he's one part of the Lubyanka and you're the other part of the.
When
Lubyanka,
you're talking
right?
about Tom, when you're talking about virtues, especially, yes, of course, I want there to be all sorts of state propaganda for virtues. Why wouldn't I want that? Of course I do. Of course I want there to be decency laws, public decency laws. Yes, I don't want homosexual parades to go in the middle of the street where they're dressed like gimps doing sex acts in the middle of the street. I know it's terrible. It's like over the top evil fascism to want that. But I tend to think that most human beings not only agree with me, but when you're talking about virtues themselves, what would be the counter to them? It's this nonsensical egalitarianism. It just says it's just some bizarre doctrine that says all of us should not only have equal access, but equal outcomes. And that's what actually Lav was saying. She was like, this woman deserves to have the equal outcome of the man. That's basically what her argument is. That's not virtuous. And also, it's stupid. It doesn't even make sense. On its face, it doesn't make sense.
True.
They're not going to have equal outcomes. That's nuts.
Well, we would want something proportionate to some level in order for them to have any sort of autonomy.
We kind of make these general declarative statements of like we would want. I clearly don't want that, so we clearly don't want that.
So how could they have any sense of autonomy without them having?
No, you don't realize, Tom. They shouldn't.
Proportionate.
They shouldn't have
autonomy. I didn't hear the question, Tom.
Why? So yeah, she's saying that you wouldn't want women to have autonomy. I'm asking, how could women have autonomy in these relationships if they don't have?
No, it's actually within my. Actually, it's me. It's me who is giving more autonomy than you are. I'm not vilifying the 18-year-old for doing this. I'm not saying that the 18-year-old woman shouldn't be able to marry who she wants. I'm not saying that the 18-year-old can't do these things. You're taking away the autonomy by saying that you busybodies are going to get all up in her fucking business and make sure to fuck with her life because you find it icky. It's fucking icky. It's icky. We got to get involved in that shit because it's icky.
You hate that I have an opinion.
How can you make the argument
that I'm
influencing the autonomy?
Andrew? Just let it slide.
Why do you think
I'm a
it
silly
is?
Little girl.
Yeah, I'm talking to Tom. Tom, why do you think it is? I would be the one in this situation removing autonomy. That would be the opposite.
Well, I don't want to go back to age gaps, so
you must.
I don't want to go back to age gaps. Obviously, I mean, even if we're just talking about promiscuity, like somebody having more experience is going to make them give them more options, let them understand what their options are, let them know better what it is that they're looking for, whereas like having no experience is kind of.
So you're putting a restraint on it, which is actually limiting autonomy, whereas I'm not. I'm not limiting the autonomy of the 18-year-old female to choose who it is. You're saying that should be at least society-wide, at least discouraged to have these types of age gaps. That's actually restricting autonomy in a way I'm not even
I was talking
making
about
a proposition for.
I don't want to go back to age gaps.
Okay, fine.
I was talking about promiscuity. Like,
so do we weigh a man's wants over a woman's wants? Like if a man wants to have like attractive children, like hot attractive children.
How would you be weighing his wants over hers?
Well, we value men having more attractive children with young women, but we don't value women living their life before having those children.
I'm saying that if the woman chooses to marry the older man in this particular case, what is the problem there?
What about the age gaps?
What you're saying here actually makes no sense. It's idiotic. You're saying to me, wait a second, Andrew, you're not willing to limit them, and I am. But Andrew, you're affecting their autonomy, and I'm not.
Well, no, I think that the divorce rate is often due to people going into relationships uninformed or going into motherhood uninformed. A lot of people who have children very young and get married young, it'll go one of two ways. They either love it and stay with it, and it's their life forever, or women and men become very unhappy with their circumstances. A lot of women divorce men because they're like, I don't want this for myself. I didn't get to live my life. I've only been a daughter. And then after a daughter, I was directly a mother. I never got to be me. And that creates a lot of problems in relationships.
I'm sorry. You made a decision, and instead of going and finding yourself and riding the cock carousel that you settled down early and had a family, have to deal with the consequences.
No, it's not fucking terrible. I don't think that women should be having sex during this time. I think that they should be they should be reading books.
They should be traveling Europe.
They should be
barefoot.
You can read books and have a family. The issue that I have the issue that I would have, Lab, is so if what you're saying is true, meaning the divorce rate, which I agree with you, the divorce rate is too high. It's there's going to be reasons for that. What you should say is, okay, at a woman having children at 20, let's say 21, 22, that's too early. And then it should result in somewhere, if we did a study on them 10 years down the line, of them having a higher divorce rate. And then when we look at women who get married at like 26, 27, 28, we should see a lower divorce rate. And do we see a lower divorce rate when women get married later?
Yes.
I haven't seen that. What is it, like a GSS survey?
Yeah, it's 26, 27, 28, and 29. It's the sweet spot. If you go above that, then it's worse.
But don't let them sneak it in on you. It's usually the young who are religious who are getting married in the first place, and that's the primary reason they're staying together, not because of their youth.
I don't think it's
that's the sneaky.
No,
that's the little sneak in that they do. They try to pretend that, well, young people getting married, yes, they do stay together, but they stay together for a reason, because when you're young, the motivation to get married, absent religion, really isn't there.
I agree.
Yeah,
with
it's
that.
actually
Why would that be sneaking it in? But the people people would say that this is a problem with religion, not that it's.
It's not a problem with religion. That's the most epic part of it. It's the only thing reproducing society. Your secular ethics are making sure that we die out.
Why even live at all? Then you're a Jehovah's Witness. Why even have a birthday? Why enjoy life at all?
What does it have to do with enjoying life?
Like why do we just devote your life to God and a greater cause? Why even take pleasure in life's simple pleasures like eating chocolate cake? Or
it's super weird. You can't eat chocolate cake and have a family. You can't eat chocolate cake and have a family. Can't enjoy pleasures of life. Can't read and have a book. You can't do anything.
Men are so extreme. This is why men need women. It's because you guys go to like war or sleep. That there's like those are your two options. You can't do anything else. Clearly, what I'm saying is that there is a gray area here in which women don't want to be immediately responsible in their teenage years for a fucking human being, and they are going to have better kids when they are more prepared, when they are slightly older. That's all I'm saying. Generally, I think that is the case.
Your argument is slightly older. Your argument's not like 35. Your argument's like 26.
Don't have children at 35. Jesus Christ. That's way too old to have.
So what do you think? If you had to guess, Lav, would you guess that these women who at 18 go out to experience the world are going to be chaste going into their marriage at 24?
Going to be chaste? What do you mean?
Yeah. Do you think that they're going to have chastity on their side? Fewer sexual partners?
No. Depends on where you live, I think. Like if you live in Miami or in LA, certainly not. No.
Just on average in general, period. Anywhere on planet, anywhere in America. Do you think that a woman who goes out at 18 to like sow her oats, okay, do you think that she's going to have less or more sexual partners by the time she's 24 years old in comparison to when she's 18?
I think if I have something to do with it, she's gonna have less.
Yeah, on average, right this second.
But he's saying that you do have something to do with it, and you telling people to wait is going to make it to where
if you're telling them to wait, then you're actually helping them to have more amounts of sexual partners, which then lowers their value, which you've already agreed does.
I say don't have sex during those times. I think
Yes,
that women
but
should
he's
be
saying
celibate.
that they
Right.
will. That's
I
the
know.
point. He's
But the
saying
problem
that they
is
will,
that they
pragmatically,
will.
they will.
They will. And
The
since they
longer they
will,
wait,
And
what,
then
the more
that's gonna
likely they're
suck.
going to have
yeah.
sex.
So your advice to them, actually, to your advice to women is actually
Well, I
counterproductive.
wouldn't give only one part of the advice. I'd give both part of the advice.
Oh, yeah, great. You would say at 18, listen, here's my advice. Don't have kids for 5 more years and go out and experience the world. Do you think that the
No, I'd
chances
say
of them...
no, I wouldn't say that. I'd say create a solid female community, become
Okay.
a member of your community.
Sure.
Talk to older women, younger women, become a beacon. Devote your life to something greater, maybe education, maybe society as a whole, maybe
And don't have
motherhood.
sex, all of that, right? Whatever advice you give them, whatever it is.
Sure, I'd say
Do you
to be
think that
celibate.
just that 5 years would increase the risk of them having more sexual partners?
Well, at 5 years they're 23. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
it would
probably.
increase the
So
risk.
your advice to wait at 18 is actually counterproductive to what it is that you want to see in society, Lav.
I also don't think that there's this like the second that you have sex with a bunch of people, you're like off the market. I think it's like really person to person. I've had sex with 30 people and I'm getting married and I'm going to have a great life.
But haven't you been getting married for like 3 years?
No, we've been engaged for 2 years and I had a heart condition. So I had to have surgery and a bunch of other things. So that prevented us from getting married. We're getting married in February though.
Okay, fine. That aside, Lav, whatever the circumstances is that you personally have, I don't care. The point,
well,
the point
just saying
stands.
that if you play your cards right, if you're an intelligent woman, people.
Yeah.
He doesn't
I mean,
care, Lav.
Yeah, if you're an intelligent woman, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter still how many sexual partners that you've had, but
right, and your advice is going to lead to more of that.
I've gotten away with a lot because of how intelligent and pretty I am, and because of how funny I am. So
Well,
I'd say that if you are 25,
you have to seal the deal before you brag about it.
If you are 25,
you got to seal the deal
25 and you've created this life where you have enriched your life as a woman, and you bring more into the partnership, like your intuition, how smart you are, how sure of yourself you are, how good of a mother you're going to be. I think that matters more to high value men.
After Andrew,
hang on, let me just respond
real quick, and then I promise I'll
real quick. You're so right.
Wait, hang on, Andrew. Just hang on a second. After Andrew responds,
so
I do once again want to give the other people a chance to talk because we haven't.
Andrew and I are making out right now. We're literally.
Okay,
so
anyway, let me finish the point, and then I'll mute the mic. Right, but here's.
Wait, hang on. I hate muting you, but I gotta do it. So anyway, so after you make your point, you can make your point as long as you want. I do want to hear from Torsha, Michael, and Tom. Okay, go ahead, Andrew.
Okay, so what Lav is saying to you here, this is what she's actually saying, believe it or not. She's saying that a young woman at 24 who goes to a high value man and says, look, I know I've read lots of books and had great experiences and stuff, but I fucked a lot of dudes. He's going to find her more valuable than an 18-year-old who goes, I'm a virgin, but I don't read too much.
I think
okay, Lav, whatever you say, Lav. I want to go live in fantasy land like you, Lav. That sounds like a great place to go live.
First of all, high quality women don't want to marry a man who only cares about her fucking sexual history. That's fucking crazy. That is the biggest, weirdest thing to do.
Well, you're contradicting yourself.
In your life, no, high quality men means smart, high IQ, hard worker, gonna be a good dad.
They totally care about how many dudes you fucked, Lav, and you know that there's a reason why.
They don't.
Yeah, they do.
Lav, I'm gonna disagree with you.
They care more. They care more about what you offer. They care more about what you offer to the relationship. This is just true.
Lab, I'm sorry. The data is very conclusive on this. Men care significantly more about.
And those 80% of men who are single should stay fucking single. They don't deserve it.
It's not 80% of men. Lab, these are hundreds of thousands.
You're like this is what these are stats that you've brought up today. You're like, most men are not the top 10% of men. Most men aren't getting pussy. And then you're like, also, most men care about how many
but we're talking about
pragmatic. A lot of women now, if you look at millennial or Gen Z women, we shame men who care about body count. That is disgusting to us.
And you can if you want, but that's not what you said. What you said was that most high value men don't care about body count.
High value to me isn't just rich. It means like high IQ.
But now it's high value to you.
You think a high IQ men? Oh, I say I'm really smart, and that means that I no longer care about how many dudes you fucked. Only the dumb men care about that.
Someone who is high IQ seeks someone else who is high IQ other than chicks.
If the argument is that you think men shouldn't care about body count, fine. If the argument is that most high value men, okay, if the argument is that most high value men don't care about body count, there is no evidence to show that. Again, the 37 culture study,
there is evidence.
All 37 cultures.
No. So
all
to
37
you,
cultures.
high value. Okay, so let's clarify what high value
this is all
means.
men, period. This is over total.
No, it's not, because we know that high IQ men seek high IQ partners. This
but
is
they
just
do
true.
still, but men still, again, this idea that
they
I
care
am not
less.
going to take into
I
account,
would venture to say that they care less about, and this is completely anecdotal, and this is completely my experience, they care less about your body count than they do about how smart you are. Smart men want smart, funny women.
Yeah, but
That's
if smart men want smart women, then isn't a smart woman a woman who knows that there's value in her not fucking a lot of men?
This is also true. So this is also true, and I've talked about this before.
So if that's true, then you're still contradicting your own argument.
But I
shut
think
up, Portia.
So
You're wrong.
No, it's literally been just like, okay, yeah, I agree with this. No, I don't agree with that. When it gets too hard, it's like, pick a fucking side, y'all. Like, it's just, this is going.
Torsia, do you
just do black and white.
Do you agree with this concept?
Well,
this
that's the point of a debate.
The high value men, the high value men, this idea, like I'm just saying, like,
let me keep it simple. No man on this earth has ever vetted a woman for her intelligence, ever, and I will stand by it. They go strictly for.
Go off, queen.
Okay. That is harsh, dude. What?
I don't give a fuck.
I have a ton of female friends. Like,
we're not all JF Gary yet.
I'm sure you're very close.
Yeah, I have a ton of female friends. And my female friends, some of them have incredible attributes. Like, some of them are very smart, some of them are very funny, some of them are great content creators, some of them have artistic abilities, some of them are comedians, some of them are actresses. And I even have a few friends. I have a background in astronomy. Some of them are astronomers. Okay, they have an incredible. If a woman did a heart transplant on my daughter, if I had a daughter and did a heart transplant, she has incredible value to this planet. Incredible value because of her ability as a cardiologist. That does not make her more attractive. I'm sorry, it doesn't. If I'm the first person to explain this to you, it doesn't. For as far as a man's penis getting harder, it does not matter to the same extent. To some men, in some extent, yes, but it is nowhere. It is 100.
Do not live their life based on their penis.
If high IQ men want high IQ women, and you admit that high IQ women know that men don't want a woman who slept with a lot of men, then the premise and the conclusion there is that then high IQ men must care about the body count of high IQ women, Lav.
A little bit, I think, because it shows discernment. Yeah, but I think that afterwards, like, I'm a recovered whore, so I think that I have more leeway because I've seen the error of my ways. But I think that I think I'm apologetic. I'm a born again Christian. So I think that I am more likely to have more male. I think men are more likely to show me sympathy for that than a woman who is an active promiscuity. Correct or incorrect?
But if there's a virgin you, and then there's your reformed hoe you, if a man had the choice, assuming, since you guys take the other position that a man looks for other things, assuming that, do you think he would prefer you as a virgin or you as a reformed hoe?
Hold on, I don't
think that. Just hypothetically,
that is weird.
I do not want.
Yeah, I'm with Tom on that one. I don't want a virgin, but I also don't want. I don't want 50 either, and I don't want 100.
You're all boring.
I think part of why I'm so smart and why I'm so funny is because I have dealt with a lot of shit. A lot of that due to promiscuity. That must be why you're so smart and funny. Yeah. A lot of that due to promiscuity. I've had to pull myself out of the fucking trenches. I mean, you laugh, Michael, but to some degree, like the funniest, the most smart women I know were at one point promiscuous, and because of that.
My best friend who's female is fucking hilarious, but I don't want to date her. Like that's my point I'm trying to make. And you what you're doing is
you would call yourself high IQ.
Wait, you have a best friend who's a female?
No, my best female friend.
He's found a new target.
My best female friend. My closest female friend that I talk to.
You have female friends?
I do have female friends.
Do you have a lot of female friends?
I do have quite a bit. Yeah.
Are you in a committed relationship?
I am. Yeah. Andrew, we've talked about this. I'm polygynous. We see women together.
Women as people, Michael? Come on.
They help me raise money for charity.
Well, he doesn't
Anyway.
he shouldn't see you as one, maybe. Maybe the rest of the panel.
Because I'm Jewish? What the fuck, Andrew? Did you guys hear that?
How dare you
at
be
a time like this?
How dare
at a time
you be
like this,
anti-Semitic?
Andrew?
How
At
dare
a
you be
time like this, you're
anti-Semitic?
gonna call me
Please.
subhuman
You're
because of my
deep.
Jewish
We're
faith.
gonna run out of time.
Why do you
is
always
horrifying.
dehumanize the
I mean,
Irish like
truly,
this,
this
Lab?
is so horrifying.
I don't care. I do care about like.
See, I thought the whole
intelligence
time
to
that the
some
nose
extent.
was because you lied like Pinocchio. I didn't
That's
true.
actually
know that
Okay.
it was.
And I'm looking for my next false
Here we are.
accusation.
Okay,
I didn't make enough money last time.
Demonetized like a motherfucker now. All right, there we go. No, anyway.
All right, we covered Pinocchio. Just a 5-minute warning for this topic. Go ahead.
I do care about intelligence to some extent. I do want to laugh. I do want to have fun with my partner. I do want chemistry. I want all of these things. But I also care to some extent about body count. To some extent, Lav is the only person with above 30 that I would give a pass on that.
Can
one.
we? Thank you.
Yeah.
Can we say that the level of attractiveness you are, the more leeway you have in being promiscuous?
Yeah.
Yes,
No.
sure.
Hold on.
You're always
Lab,
compromising.
Lab. To have sex with her. Not to be a high status dude is not going to change just because she's more attractive to say, well, she's been with 50, therefore I'm just going to like look past it. No, I disagree with that.
Yeah,
50's a lot.
like what? But 30 is a lot. So like, I think we're talking.
But
about
it's a lot less than 50.
No, most ranges are somewhere from like 5 to 10. For by far the majority of people, is somewhere between 5.
I'm sure
and
my
10.
partner wishes I slept with 10 less people than I have.
So 10 above 10 for most people is a lot. Like most people don't live in Miami. So like obviously yes, we're always making compromises on all of our things, like funnier, maybe care a little bit less about that, smarter, care a little bit less about this, but that ends when we're talking about body count, that ends around like 10, maybe 15 at most for most people.